Dear Stephen, first of all, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Stephen Smellie. I'm a trade union activist in Unison, is my trade union. I'm from Scotland, and I'm the deputy convener of the union in Scotland, and I'm on the National Executive Committee. I'm secretary of the Freedom for Ocalan campaign that we've set up here in the United Kingdom in order to take forward the demands for Ocalan to be released from prison.
What is the committee campaign for the committee? What does it include? So can you give us some information about the campaign committee?
Yeah, the campaign, first of all, was set up as a trade union campaign by two big unions in the country, GMB and Unite. And we formed a committee of supporters from the trade unions in order to take forward this issue about Ocalan into the trade union movement and wider in Britain. So we now have support from a number of different trade unions, transport unions, teachers unions, railway unions, things like that, and we're growing all the time. So we've now got quite a good base. Last year we took to the Trade Union Congress, which is the conference of all the trade unions in Britain, a motion supporting the call for Ocalan to be released from prison. So we've got widespread support now within the trade union movement in Britain for Ocalan, and the campaign committee is about taking that forward and building that support.
To get some more information about campaign committee, how many members do you have? Also, how many unions does support the campaign?
Well, in terms of the members of the committee itself is quite small. It's representatives of different trade unions. The trade unions who support it represent millions of workers in the United Kingdom. So probably we're talking about up to 2-3 million members in the unions which currently support us, and we're hoping to expand that further. We've got general secretaries from all the leading unions in Britain who have signed up to support the campaign, and we'll be speaking in support of the campaign at various different conferences over the next months to make sure that the message gets out to every trade union member in the country, and we take that to our politicians in Parliament on a regular basis to get them to put pressure on our government, to put pressure on the Turkish government.
How and when did you hear about Kurds and Ocalan?
Well, I come from Scotland, and I once met a taxi driver in Glasgow who was a Kurd, and his name was Uskar, and he started telling me about Kurdistan. I have to confess, at that time, this is 1998, 99, I didn't know where Kurdistan was at that time, so he was telling me all about it. So I did a bit more research, and in 2002 I took part in a delegation to North Kurdistan, to Diyarbakir, and met many people over there. And from that point onwards, the Kurdish cause, the cause for freedom, the cause for democracy, the cause for peace, it's been something I've really been supportive of and been involved in.
How did you decide to support Freedom for Ocalan campaign?
Well, when I first went over to Kurdistan, as I was saying, at that time, 2002, the situation was very tense, and to be honest, you couldn't openly discuss issues like Ocalan, but people would refer to the teachings of Ocalan, his ideas, and that got me more interested. Who is this guy that the people seem really influenced in? And I've been back and forth a few times, and every time people are doing great things, they say, well, where did these ideas come from? And they always refer back to Ocalan. So that led me to do a bit of reading about Ocalan, what he's about, and it seems to me that as well as the principle of justice for Kurdish people in Turkey, which is a cause worth supporting in any case, no matter what. But in addition to that, the ideas that Ocalan has brought to that freedom struggle are really inspiring, not just for Turkey and for Kurdish people, but for people here in terms of how we organise and how we look towards a fairer and more decent society. Ocalan's ideas really struck a chord with myself in my own situation here, and I just thought this guy should be out there being able to promote his own ideas and be taking part in the negotiations around peace instead of being languishing in a prison. So that's why I think that the demand for the freedom of Ocalan is really important.
What are you doing for campaigning, and what is the plans for the next year for campaigning?
Well, we've got quite ambitious plans. As I said earlier on, we're getting trade unions to support us. That means that those trade unions will take the ideas and the material that we'll produce into their own trade unions. They'll spread that around their members, at their own conferences. They'll hold meetings to explain about it. They'll invite speakers and we'll talk about the importance of the campaign. We have plans for, there's a big festival in Britain which takes place in July in Durham, organised by the Durham miners. Something like 250,000 people attend this. They have agreed to adopt the Freedom for Ocalan campaign as a theme on their gala day, and we will have stalls and theatre and dancing, Kurdish dancing throughout the day. And that, therefore, 250,000 people, mostly trade unionists, will hear about Ocalan, will see his face, will get the literature, and we hope that that will really mean that the people in the whole of Britain will get on board with the campaign. Beyond that, we'll be organising meetings up and down the country, in every region, getting speakers, so we'll get more and more people involved. We'll be speaking to all our MPs, asking them to raise the issue in our Parliament, and hopefully we'll be organising visits to Kurdistan to speak to people on the ground, speak to the Turkish government, and try to put pressure on them to allow Ocalan to come out and take part in the peace negotiations.
What is your message to the Kurds regarding Ocalan?
The Kurds, my message to the Kurds would be that you no longer can say your only friends are in the mountains. You've got many friends. The Kurdish struggle has inspired people all over the world now. You see that everywhere you go, everywhere you look, people recognise that what's happening both in Turkey and what's happening in Syria, and the role that the Kurdish struggle has played is really inspiring. People want to know more about it. The Kurds have many friends across the world, and I would say to all the Kurds, keep on the struggle, never give up, keep campaigning for Ocalan's freedom and for justice and for democracy. You have friends, and we will work as hard as we can to give you support.